Mason Rudolph to the Lions. Andrew Filipponi reported it the other day. You got to take that with a grain of salt. Like I said, they're asking for a third. That's what I've heard. Do you think at this point there's real conversations that Mason could go?
Maybe. Omar Khan went on the Pat McAfee show today and said he doesn't have any intentions of trading in quarterbacks. When obviously, if you're a general manager, you're not going to come out in what's at least viewed in the public as an open quarterback competition and say, "Hey, like, yeah, we'll trade one of these guys. Don't worry." I think if Mason continues to carry himself and play like he has, and through training camp in the first preseason game, there's got to be some value there. Like if a quarterback needy team, barring any injuries, like we saw with Zach Wilson in New York, they're going to want a veteran quarterback who has proven that they could win at the next level.
Yep.
Not consistently, but proven they could win.
Yep.
And I mean, if it's just depending on what the Steelers are willing to give away. I mean, you hear general managers talk about it all the time. They're not listening. They're not doing their jobs if they're ignoring offers and they're not listening to other teams and talk about what they want to give up for him. I find it very hard any of these guys are going to be moved, though.
See, I did find it very hard, but I think at this point, like, what's the point? I mean, I don't think it's going to happen until the first week of September. But say come the first week of September, you've agreed with the rest of everything else that Mitch Trubisky is your starter, Kenny Pickett is your number 2, and you're comfortable with Chris Oladokun sliding his way onto the practice squad. What's stopping you from saying, okay, let's ship him out of here for something, because teams are going to call. Like, I believe that the Detroit Lions have made a phone call to say, hey, is Mason available? I believe that has happened. I do. What does stop teams from doing that? I mean, it's not like Mason's a bad quarterback. He's not a starting quality quarterback. But if you're a team like the Lions, who just cuts their backup quarterback, so now they're looking for somebody, I don't know. I don't know what's stopping you from saying, well, Mason Rudolph is probably on the table.
Sure, but I think this boils down to the price point. Like, what are the Detroit Lions willing to pay? What are the Steelers willing to kind of negotiate down for themselves on? Because if we're talking about the Steelers initially wanting a third-round pick for him, if I'm Detroit, I'm telling them to go take a hike, where, and I'm trying to find a quarterback and somewhere else on another team. What team? But where are you looking? There's a lot of quarterbacks out there. Yeah, if you're the Lions, if you're looking for a backup, there's a lot of backups out there. But how many are actually going to be up for a trade? How many teams are actually going to listen to you to say, okay, yeah, maybe we'll talk about this guy for a backup quarterback? I'm sure you can find a backup quarterback in the NFL who can produce similar results and can do similar things on the football field like Mason Rudolph does for a much cheaper cost.
I don't agree with that. I think that it'd be very difficult. Where are you going to find a quarterback that has 17 games of NFL experience, a winning record?
There's 35-year-old quarterbacks out on 30-year-old quarterbacks out on the market just waiting to be signed. Like the pool, I don't think people understand the pool of veteran quarterbacks who have started maybe 10 or 16 games or maybe even a couple of years. Dude, the pool of guys waiting for another opportunity is limitless. You can find somebody else. I don't think they're trying to find anybody else that's going to try to unseat Jared Goff.
I don't think Mason's trying to unseat Jared Goff. I don't think they'd look at him like
Mason Rudolph's currently trying to put himself as a starting quarterback in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he is. And when that doesn't happen, that's what I mean. It's not going to come until September. So when it happens in September and he's not a starting quarterback, you can't walk into Detroit heading into week 1 and be the starter. That would never happen. So at that point, he's got to accept his role as the backup. And I think he will, because what's his other option? To be a third stringer here where everybody hates you? I think that if they did call, and if they continue to call, he's not stepping on anybody's toes. And he's probably one of the best options for a backup quarterback in the NFL. And on top of that, name a quarterback who is going to replicate a completely motionless Jared Goff like Mason Rudolph. He is the poor man's Jared Goff.
He
is.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
What's the difference between them? They can't run. Neither of them are mobile. Both of them pretty much.
Jared Goff took his team to a Super Bowl.
No, he did not.
Yes,
Sean
he did.
McVay took his team to a Super Bowl. That's like saying Jimmy
Shanahan.
Garoppolo. Shanahan took, yeah. No, that was Sean McVay. He was on the Rams.
You're right.
That was Jimmy Garoppolo. That's like saying Jimmy Garoppolo took the 49ers to a Super Bowl. No, he did not. Aaron Donald took a team to a Super Bowl.
Really quick. 5 quarterbacks. Tyrod Taylor, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Andy Dalton,
Taylor's on a team,
Cam
isn't he?
Newton. Is he?
You are not signing Cam Newton. Get that name out of there.
Colin Kaepernick.
You're not signing Colin Kaepernick. Get that name out of there too. Be realistic with these. Tyrod Taylor, I'll give you, but I'm pretty sure he's on a team. Andy Dalton, I will definitely give you. I think Andy Dalton's a good one.
Brock Osweiler. Nice.
No. No. I don't think the options are out there. Ryan Fitzpatrick retired.
Mike Glennon, AJ McCarron.
AJ McCarron.
That's about it, to be honest. Yeah.
No, there's not. Yeah. See, it's not out there. It's not like Mason's expensive. It's not. Mason's $3 million. You could pay your backup quarterback $3 million. He's young, so he's going to learn an offense a lot easier than a guy like Andy Dalton's going to come in here and try to adapt to a new offense. Again, he is a poor man's Jared Goff, very average football player who can't do anything else. I think it works. I didn't think of Detroit. I think of Detroit now. I think he would fit in well as a number 2 there.
This is all coming from a report from Andrew Filipponi, who you said take with a grain of salt.
I do say take it with a grain of salt. Do I think it's actually going to happen? No, but I think that it's much more likely to happen now than it was 2 weeks ago.
But
I mean,
why?
Because there's no point in keeping them. Right now, the Steelers are trying to decide between 8 wide receivers, what 6 to keep. They have an undrafted running back who's fighting his butt off for a roster spot, who's probably worthy of one. You're going to keep 5 safeties, which has never happened in the history of football. You got 6 inside linebackers, like a dozen defensive linemen to pick through. I think why would you keep a 3rd quarterback? That just doesn't, to be inactive. It's just like if you're going to make a roster spot, Mason Rudolph seems like a pretty easy choice to me.